It always comes to this. Hello guys, back into another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I showed off the last session on my back with Terry. We didn't quite finish it up. That was the 10th session. We did 8 sessions on my back in summer. And where we finished off, even then I said we would be doing probably another 2 sessions when we were done. So I expected to leave the color for 6 months to a year-ish before we hit it again and let everything settle in and then come back and hit it. And it'll all be more dramatic than what we would get if we kind of just kept, ramming it over and over again. And we didn't end up actually finishing it in the 2 sessions that I expected. But with that said, Terry wanted to redo basically all of it, even some of the black, which will be beneficial. It's just, it was kind of impossible to imagine what all needed to be done. So it's not a big deal. I don't mind hitting one more session in January here after the Christmas break when it's, chilled out a bit. I think part of why we couldn't finish it is because we were in 11 hours on my entire back and my skin started tightening up. And, I think we probably could have finished it if we had have done the second session maybe not a week later, say maybe 2-3 weeks later, where so much of the back was hit the prior week. It was probably in a bit of a defensive state while a lot of the work was still healing. And so we might have had a better result a little farther down the road. Now that's just speculation because it's not like we were going back into stuff that we'd already hit, but it can disrupt neighboring areas of a limb if you're working right next to work you've done work on even a week prior. It has a tendency to make the whole area a little apprehensive, but it's impossible to say exactly. With that said, we did get most of what I wanted done, and so what's left to do is just in the fur or hair of the lower back area and a little bit more of the cloak and then some more on the forehead area. So I think probably another 2 to 3 hours. Because while he's there, he'll probably just tweak and touch up little other things too to make it worth our while. But and then I expect the back to be pretty much fully finished. And in saying that, when I first spoke about the back piece, I believe my original estimate was between 15 and 20 sessions. So in total, I believe we'll be sitting at 11 to 12, potentially one more kind of touch-up tweak way down the road. But other than that, I don't expect it will change much from where we leave it, much like anything else we've done in this medium. It's more or less going to stay how you leave it. You can only get it so good, though, in a few sessions. So with something like a large full back piece over black, to do it in 11 sessions is pretty wild. Like, that's actually fairly quick. And again, we did the original rose sleeve in 10 sessions, and I think we actually measured my back when we went to black it out, that my back has got about, I think my sleeve was about 60 to 65% of the surface space of my back. And these are the kinds of things that Terry and I nerded out on when we were originally planning on blacking out my back in a single session. It was like, well, we could do a full saturation arm in a session. We already know that. How much more is it to saturate a full back versus a full arm? And it turned out that there's about 35% more surface space on my back than there was on my sleeve. Now, my back has actually probably grown a little bit since then because I've continued my fitness regimen since, September of 2023 when we blacked it out. But then again, my arms probably grew a little bit too. So it's probably still percentage-wise around the same amount. And you would only ever really need to even think about these things if you were going to be doing full saturation sessions on limbs and backs and shit like this. And These are the things that turn my crank. If I ever got into tattooing, what would make me happy would be the technical stuff, not the artistic stuff. I'm much more interested in the nuts and bolts of things. And actually, so as it happens, so is Terry. Rick is a little bit more of the artist of the two of them. Not to say that Terry isn't an artist, but Rick takes more joy in the artistic pursuits of it. Terry's a little bit more like me, coming from more of an nerdy approach or nuts and bolts. He's a very mechanically minded guy. With that said, they both have different art styles as well, but I'm not going to keep going on that. Before I talk about my session with Rick, because you guys will have already seen the thumbnail, I don't need to get right back into this. I was planning on having a session with Ashlyn, the girl who did the Nosferatu tattoo on my leg, either this last week or the week here before we shut down. Fortunately, I was able to fill all of her spots this coming week because my leg is still a little shiny in a few spots. So I will be hitting that again in January. So you'll have an update on that soon. It hasn't changed much since I showed it off last time, except that it's a lot more healed now, and believe it or not, it's actually more white than it was. Some of the shine was making it appear a little more silvery than it actually was, and all of the black on black stayed in fairly well as well. When we get into that again, it'll probably be an overall brush up on what's there, due to more or less a harder heal, but most of what we did is there, so it won't be a full redo, I don't think, of anything, except for save for maybe a second pass of some of the white. I don't even think we need a full second pass of all the white, to be honest with you. Kind of like it being more of a gray, but we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I will change my mind on that, so especially since, I plan on doing at least 2 more sessions on that guy. We're going to do a big red background around it, and there's still some opaque to put in places, and yeah. I also have a plan to, during the Christmas break, my wife is going to tattoo me for the first time. Every year she makes me a gift. She's an artist in all different mediums, and this year I told her I wanted her to tattoo me over our Christmas break, and so I don't know what she's going to put on me. I have no idea. It's going to be on my legs, so it'll be a leggy tattoo of some kind. I don't know what size it's going to be. I don't know what style it's going to be, what colors she's going to use. The only thing I know is she's going to try and make it more color than white and black on black. Other than that, I don't know any of the particulars, so that should be exciting. That will be coming up here this month as well on the channel. I'll cover that in full, and I'll probably even take some video clips of her tattooing me, so long as I'm not on my stomach. Again, I don't know. I might be on my stomach. I might be on my ass. Who knows? But I'm excited about that. She's been tattooing now for over a year, and she's gotten pretty good at putting color in, and she's done quite a bit of cover-up work on a smaller scale already. Everyone that works at this shop ends up doing cover-up work. It's kind of just part of the job here, and this shop is known for it. So if you want to work here, you're going to get good at doing cover-ups. So this won't be her first time covering black. It will be her first time covering blackout, where there's much more black than in most tattoos. But it's the same idea, and my legs are very, very settled black, so whatever she puts into it will be fairly easy. And of course, we're going to start with black on black. She's learned a lot about doing this work from watching Terry and seeing what's been going on me at the shop here. So it's going to work, and it's not going to be a surprise when it works. And when it does work, it won't mean she's a wizard, like a lot of people like to think. And for the people who say, it would be nice to hear from some of the artists that have done this work on you, she is on Remy Reacts with me every week, and so she can share some of her thoughts. But it's nothing special, guys. Like I've said before, it's just basic tattooing. It's just basic color saturation. And if you can do color saturation, you can tattoo over black. It will not be a surprise when this works. It won't be a surprise when it's there, when it heals, and you don't have the right to act surprised. I've been showing this off for long enough now. Same thing as Ashlyn. It was her first try over blackout on me, and even through a hard heal, we still have a great tattoo there. So the superstition should be over by now, and there really should be no doubt. It's still upsetting to me when I get tagged in videos and I see the first comment, oh, that's not going to be there in a year. That's not going to be there in a week. Whatever it is. Especially upsetting from other tattooers who really should know better, and if they don't by now, should get the fuck out of the industry. Because we have apprentices at this shop doing that work, and it's healing just fine. Anyway, I'll show this off. Almost forgot I got tattooed today. I'm not sore at all. Rick and I worked for 3.5 hours on this, believe it or not. I came in around 11 today, and it's now 4 o'clock. I'm just about to leave. Just making this video before I leave. We may or may not be filming a Remy Reacts directly after this. I'm taking Sarah to a movie after this. My wife. We're going out tonight, so. But the movie's at 6:30, so say if we got some time in between, we'll probably film some Remy Reacts. I'm not planning on being at the shop to film Remy Reacts during our Christmas break. I wanted to be a few ahead, so we didn't have to. I don't take much time off. I don't take time off very well. I'm a very busy person. I like to be busy. But I don't want to be filming a whole lot during my break. I'll just be doing the vlogs after tattoo sessions and stuff. But I don't want to be doing full-on Remy Reacts while we're down. So planning on doing some to keep ahead. As of, my vlogs are about 2 months ahead right now. And the Remy Reacts are about 1.5 months ahead. And you can see them as they go up if you become a member of this channel. If you have any interest, otherwise they'll be up probably closer to February. This one will be in February too, I believe. But anyway, just building some of this texture that we got up here down, more of a fade, so it's not just a complete drop off. We'll of course be doing that back here as well. And we of course built that same texture that we did up here. Into the lower area here, and I think we're going to do a gradual fade off kind of everywhere. So I don't actually know what we're doing next session, but I think we're going to be heading on to the hand, which definitely needs the most work, or we could be doing the red around the tentacles on the hand and up back here. Some of this red was only done once, and you can see the difference between the red that's been done a couple times versus the red that's been done once is a lot thinner and darker where we've only done it once. Some of it is even dissipated, but that is the hand, so that would be the place that would be most likely to do that. In saying that, that doesn't mean that the red isn't there just because it's harder to see. It just means that there's more black in the balance than there is red, so the black is showing through more clearly. Same thing is happening here, where we have done one pass on my forehead, and that was very black. That red is pretty thin in the balance. And so right now there's more black ink in there than there is red, and black is generally stronger than red. So what happens is the red doesn't show through that well. Although we do have red, it is clearly in there. When we do another pass, we get more red, and if you do another pass after that, it becomes even more red. So that's a perfect segue into my session with Terry this week. One of the last days the shop's open. I'm having a short session with Terry where we're going to be rerunning the spider webs on my hand again, and then doing the second pass of the yellow around the spider eyes on my chest. And the first pass did really, really good. It's been about 3 months, I would say, maybe a little more. And the yellow still hasn't faded or really changed much since it healed. It's maybe a little oranger. But it will be brighter yellow, more similar to the yellow that we have in parts of the Cthulhu sleeve that Rick and I are working on, and it should further distinguish. Sorry, tripping on my words. The spider eyes on my chest, and bolden them up a bit. We don't need to redo the black or the red, so it will just be a quick lining session there, and we will also be doing the second pass of red on my forehead with Red Nebula. It should make a hell of a difference, but I think this will probably be a 3-pass thing, so we'll probably hit it again down the road, maybe in February or March. But, yeah. Anyway, with that said, this was a really easy session. Like I said, I barely feel like I've been tattooed, but further carving out this face from the tentacles on the inside here really does help the whole sleeve stand out. and especially where we have so much blue and purple in here, having the face be more distinct from that gives it more clarity. Even from afar, it kind of pulls it out more. And so I'm willing to keep working on this for as many sessions as we keep seeing results. And we had a really good heal last time, so I expect that will be the case for this session as well, especially since it was going in so easily and we were moving quite quick for Rick and I. Rick works with heavy detail, so everything goes quite a bit slower than when you do half of a back with Terry. But again, Terry's work being bigger and bolder, and we're using bigger needle groupings in general, you're covering ground faster. I'll try and show off a bit of the back here. It's in the process of peeling, and it's staying quite bright. I'll have my shirt off for the next vlog I do, where I'll have the spider eyes to show off and that, and I'll show off how the back looks fully peeled. Currently it's just about to shed fully, so you'll get a more accurate view of how it healed on my next vlog here in a few days. This one should mostly be healed up by then as well, as I heal usually in 2 to 3 days. So yeah, all right, I will be talking to you guys here again soon when I do my final vlog, I believe, before we shut down the shop for the year. I will still be having a session or two, maybe even 3 while we're closed, but that'll be one of the last days that we're open for the year. And I'm kind of looking forward to that because it's been a weird year and I could use the break. Well, semi-break. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.